wrestling is officially mainstream again, right, Delta?
It's cool again.
I will say, oh my god, The Rock's new entrance. That shit was
Electrifying.
sick! Literally
Yes.
electrifying. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. We missed you. We haven't been gone too long this time around, and we'll ensure we're not gone too long in the foreseeable future. It's very hard juggling between both channels, but we're managing to do it somehow, and Delta is here to keep us in check, so thank you for that, Delta.
No problem.
No problem.
Someone's got to do it.
Well, damn.
You're pumping out like 5 or 6 videos over there on the regular channel. We gotta remind. Hey, we got a wrestling channel over here.
We have to grow it. We have to grow this goddamn channel. And I failed at my job. Sort of. No, we're almost at 1,000 subs. Let's make it happen, ladies and gentlemen. If you like men in tights and you like people talking about men in tights, well, you know who to subscribe to. So, this week in wrestling has been very interesting. I'll be honest with you, Delta. I didn't watch much of Monday Night Raw. After the diarrhea Dwayne, I was like, ugh, I gotta turn this shit off. So
It's pretty much a standard affair for the most part, outside of the Dominic versus Gunther match.
By the way,
like,
surprisingly good match.
yes, it was very good.
I gotta give Gunter. This just proof Gunter can work with anyone and anything. Ask him to wrestle a broom and he'll put on a good match. So, shout out to those two. I don't think, it's not a match that makes Gunter look strong. It makes him look strong, but, it's not like a title match anyone took serious, right? Was it for the title?
I don't think anyone thought he was going to lose. Yeah, it was for the title. I don't think anyone was going to think he was Dominic Mysterio is going to beat Gunther, of all people. No way.
He couldn't even beat his dad.
That's right.
I will say, of everybody on the roster, Dominic is the weakest looking individual, but I will say he ate those chops. He ate that fucking clothesline. He ate that and also, I gotta say, Gunter delivered to him. It was quite possibly one of the most painful looking power bombs I've seen in a while. I swear I saw Dominic's head bounce off the mat, dude. It was like, whoa. And then after that, he tapped him out, looking good. And, of course, per usual, smacked the shit out of him so hard, he actually tore Dominic's shirt. So that was great. I loved every second of it.
He really ripped it off too. It was like, holy shit! He just ripped that shit. He all his might and all his force just ripped that leather apart. So he could just get that bared chop on him. It's like, holy shit! Oh, yeah. That was crazy to watch.
I know. I loved it. It was awesome. That was the highlight of Monday Night Raw for me. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes segment. You guys are making it really hard for me to want you to win.
I don't get it. It's like, I don't know if The Rock's trying to make himself look like he's the super over diet guy right now, because Cody's kind of getting weak material to work with for the most part, and so is Seth, at least for Monday night. I thought he was better. They were better off on Friday night, at least for Seth's case, in my opinion, with the whole midlife crisis remark. And the whole, you had your time, Rock, but you damn sure can't have ours. I thought that was a great line. But, yeah, I think, Cody, for the most part, this entire week was looking rather weak.
So, oh, yeah.
Especially, the whole mention of, oh, you were a mistake to Cody because, he was, 20 years apart from his siblings. I was like, what the fuck? Why are we even bringing this up?
I will say, now... fuck, we're gonna get there in a second. We're gonna get this. What else about Monday Night Raw really was a highlight for you, other than Gunter versus Dominic Mysterio? I couldn't.
Sami Zayn versus Ivar, for the whole gauntlet match right now. That was interesting.
Sami won that one, right?
Yeah, Sami won that one
with the Helluva kick.
Next week. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it was really good. As the usual, Sami Zayn always puts on a great performance.
Ivar's not too bad himself.
Yeah. For these big guys like him and Bronson Reed, because Bronson did attack Sami after the match was done. And I was sitting there these guys, even though how big they are, they're very quick on their feet and they're very agile. So I don't know. And then you had the standard fare, you had Shayna Baszler and Zoe Zark. they're going to go in their tag team match against the Kabuki Warriors and all that.
Yeah.
So it's standard fare for the most part. Andrade had his match against Apollo Crews.
Okay.
It's just like I said, just mostly it's just standard affair for the
What?
week
Yeah.
of Raw.
It's good to see Andrade back though. I'm
Oh,
glad.
it's great to see him
Yeah,
back,
no,
yeah.
he was always. I always thought that was a talent they shouldn't have let go of. He just needed, like, if he was stuck around, like if they had kept him, he should have been like the founder of the LWO, and Rey Mysterio should have been like secondary, like kind of like a passing of the torch thing, because Andrade and Rey Mysterio put on some banger matches in the past.
Yeah.
And it would have been really cool if those two were like set aside their differences, LWO, and then create some tension. But yeah, it's great to see him. I definitely like him way the fuck more than Santos Escobar. I'm not gonna lie. Santos Escobar is a really talented guy in the ring, but Andrade has the stripes, so I would have
He
put
does.
him there. As for the
More
women,
charisma,
yeah.
in my opinion, too.
As for the women, Nia Jax had a match, right? Or
Yeah, Nia Jax went against Becky Lynch and ended up being a DQ because of Liv Morgan stepping in and trying to, like, take out Nia Jax in the process.
another tiny
So,
blonde girl in the roster.
yeah, like I look at Liv Morgan, like, no offense, Liv, you're gorgeous and everything, but like, what are you gonna do against Nia Jax? Like, come on now.
I know, like Nia Jax, like realistically, Nia Jax could destroy her, So it's sometimes you get taken out of wrestling when things like that happen because like some of those females are way too tiny to be performers. I'll be real. Like I know people hate hearing that. Like size doesn't matter. Rey Mysterio proved that. Yeah, well, none of the women have. So
Yeah.
we need a small female that can prove. But a lot of the smaller women just do not have that agility in the ring. So someone's gonna come in. I swear, there's gonna be a female wrestler one day that's like the size of Liv Morgan, and Alexa Bliss, and they're just gonna like show the crazy acrobatics and gymnastics, and people are gonna be like, okay, that's what we want, not like talentless blonde bitches. As cruel as
Right.
it sounds, but if you want people to take women's wrestling serious, make it look competitive, please, for the love of God. I think we'll move on from Monday Night Raw. That's about all there really is, right? Nothing happens on Monday Night Raw anymore. Monday Night Raw is now the secondary show.
It's not the A show. It's not the A show, so therefore they just it's like you said, like outside of like a segment, maybe a segment or two, like it's just pretty much the B show. At least for now, until Netflix takes over.
Yeah, I wonder what Netflix is. I wonder if Netflix is going to prioritize Raw over SmackDown.
Yeah.
But I will say, I am loving how SmackDown is the A show because I was always a bigger fan of the SmackDown roster and SmackDown bookings. Like during the Ruthless Aggression era, I always thought SmackDown was better all the time. That's because Paul Heyman was booking shit back then. But now with we'll move on to SmackDown, which was, I would say, a very good show. They put on a really good show.
Could we briefly mention also people, speaking of returns, William Regal back?
Yes,
over
Sir
NXT
William
briefly.
Regal. Yes,
That was crazy to see him back, doing that. So I'm glad to see him back over at NXT.
he's a man.
Doing the young talent.
He's a man, a real man's man. Yes, it's great to see Mr. Regal. He's looking, well, older, but he still looks good. And honestly, that guy has so much wisdom to share with the new talent, and God bless him. Keep that man alive, please. He's like one of my favorite people backstage. There are people I like in the ring, and then there are people I admire backstage. That's how it is with wrestling. Some of those people backstage are just they're priceless. You can't let them go. Kind of like, yeah. So anyway, with SmackDown, what was the highlight of the show for you? I mean, for me, it's obviously that ending segment, which was 21 minutes long.
And obviously, the big controversial thing is the Prime sign being put in the center of the ring. And it's going to be at every live event from here on out, starting with WrestleMania from Logan Paul.
Wait.
You know that, right? You didn't miss that, didn't you?
What the fuck?
Freaking Logan Paul announced earlier in the episode of SmackDown saying, like, just starting now, that Prime is going to be logoed on the mat from every planned live event starting with WrestleMania.
Oh hell no, bro!
I don't know how you
What?
feel about that because like Vince McMahon always thought like it was never smart to put an advertisement or a logo on the ring. You know, he wanted to clean mat. Like I know WCW used to do it all the time. I think they
Oh,
had stickers and all other shit going on their shit. So, you know, it's weird to see Prime of all things. It is a good way to push more of Logan being a heel, doing that. And you would think that, right? But then
mm-hmm.
I see like freaking UFC is gonna also have Prime as well.
Oh, speaking
So
of
you
UFC,
get that going.
speaking of UFC, let's share the big rumors. But let me mention with the Prime thing. Man, I don't know. Like the UFC, they put ads on in their ring, you know. So other
Yeah.
divisions do it. Some have company logos, but I always was of the notion a clean ring looks best. I agree.
Hmm.
If you want to sponsor Prime, put it on the barricade or whatever. I don't, but like center of the ring, just it looks ugly, but it's so gonna get people to hate Logan Paul, which you want because he's a heel and he's
Hope
doing
they
a
have like
great
good
job at
boots with
being,
that.
yeah, he's doing a great job at being hated. But anyway, Conor McGregor rumors of signing up with the WWE. Did you hear about this?
I heard about it. I'm not putting in weight to it at least until after WrestleMania at least.
I believe it'll happen. Holy shit, this video actually approved for ads, Delta.
What? Holy shit! Finally.
This video where I make fun of a fat person. Holy shit, I'm gonna hit publish on that now. Oh
The
my,
publish button, sir.
yes sir. Anyway, that's a goddamn miracle.
Right.
Anyway, back to our world.
Back to our world here. For other stuff outside of obviously the big segment here, I have some issues, particularly with LA Knight and AJ Styles. I don't
Yeah.
find this rivalry back and forth that interesting, in my opinion. I feel like we're making these guys do something because hey, they're big names, they're over with the crowd, but we need to give them something to do. We can't put them in a belt match for some odd reason. I don't know why, but
Mm.
so we're gonna make this. I don't know. We'll see if they can make chicken salad out of chicken shit. We'll
That's a good
see.
phrase. Yeah, I like that phrase.
So we'll see what happens. Like, cause right now, I'm not liking this. I don't like how we have LA Knight. Like
Mhm.
he was so over with the crowd over the year, and now it was just making him in a match potentially WrestleMania without a belt involved. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, it just how can I put it? Like AJ Styles' return has just man, if this was if this was WWE like 3 or 4 years ago, this kind of run for AJ, I would have been like, hell yeah, but it just feels like nobody cares about this rivalry. And they don't. These are both very talented men, mind you. It just
Very talented.
it doesn't feel like they should be like in a rivalry right now. I'm not sold on it. I think I think the only way you could ever make this interesting is if it was like faction based, right? Like AJ with the OC, but he turned his back on them, and LA Knight with maybe he could have teamed up with the Street Profits. Could have been, I don't know, but when it's just these two, there's no energy, there's no chemistry. I don't know, just dead silence, and also AJ doesn't really look legitimately pissed off during this whole thing. So yeah, and then LA Knight had that backstage segment where he shit talked AJ, but I'll be honest. Ever since The Rock came back, LA Knight feels pretty PG. So
Yeah, it feels like I don't know what it is. Like, you would think they'd have LA Knight at one point, counteract The Rock at one point. Because he's a mix between him and maybe it's because they don't want to put them both in the ring. Because if you close your eyes, you'd hear both of them talking back to each other. It sounded like The Rock talking to himself,
right,
But,
yeah,
but
that's actually a good point.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's,
It's like I'm hoping like down the line, like we do see LA Knight versus The Rock at one point. Yeah, John Cena help him out. Like, what the fuck? Why can't you have The Rock go against him or something?
that's a good point. It just no, it's about speaking of Cena. I wonder if Cena's gonna have any showing at Mania now.
He says he's free. He says he's free. I don't see why he wouldn't show up.
Yeah, no,
Especially
and
for WrestleMania 40,
oh yeah, Cena. Cena would be like definitely would help to have him show up at Mania for something. Not sure what it would be, but if he could be like a referee between these two, it would be a little more interesting, I guess. Like, there's just nothing. WWE hasn't thrown anything at this rivalry to make you invested in it. So, other than like, oh, AJ cost LA Knight his his opportunity at Elimination Chamber. Well, none of us believed he was going to win anyway. So,
Exactly.
So it's not like, yeah. Anyway, moving on from that, what else did you want to bring up from SmackDown?
I would mention I do like how Hunter is doing stuff like Bianca Belair, for example. Um, I'm not a big look. I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of Bianca Belair. At least in my, I think she's a very talented wrestler. I think she's great on the mat. I think she's very, I want to say she's very robotic for the most part. At least recently. And I don't like her. I don't like her hair gimmick whatsoever. But she's very talented. But I do like how that like Hunter is like once again doing like he did with the men, that every past choice that has occurred, people bring it up and like all of a sudden it makes them more three-dimensional rather than two-dimensional, like when Vince had them.
Yeah.
And like how like they're her and who was her name? Oh, what the hell is that chick's name?
The black chick?
Yeah, that's the one with the green hair.
Yeah, that's Jimmy or Jay's wife. I forgot her name.
Naomi.
Naomi.
My apologies, everyone.
No,
Yeah,
it's not your apology. That's how forgettable she is. Don't worry about it.
Well, unfortunately, yeah, it's unfortunate too. That's another unfortunate thing. You bring her back and she's like nothing now. It's just like, oh, come on now.
I remember at one point they gave this girl the world, and here we are now. So
I know she's paying for her walking out with Sasha Banks, and she's still paying for that or what? Which, I mean, fair enough. If that's the case.
I don't blame this company for being a little resentful about that. You can't blame them. Walking out on a company the way they did. Oh my God, they're lucky that the world of wrestling isn't like they see like you don't get along with the company in that way, and like we're not hiring you because imagine if this person walks off our show. What are we gonna do? Like people pay money to see you wrestle. You don't show up, fuck you. Like, no, I don't respect that at all. I don't think they should take it easy on her. She needs to earn it. She absolutely 100% needs to earn it.
Yeah. And that's what makes me wonder if like, is Sasha Banks gonna eventually, because she's already said it. I plan to come back eventually. She's even said it before she's starting AEW, by the way, that I plan to be back eventually. When she does come back, is she gonna get the same treatment Naomi's getting right now? That's the real question you gotta ask yourself.
Not fucking Sasha Monet. Oh, fuck.
Oh, man.
No, please, no. Would be like my hero, like Eddie Guerrero. I never thought Sasha was great. I never did. Maybe, I don't know if you liked her at one point, but I never liked her. She always
I like Sasha Banks, but yeah, I could see the resentment.
She always missed her kicks. She was mean to fans. She always lost all the time. So it's like I don't care. No, I definitely don't care about her. All right, what other segment did we have on SmackDown that I missed? Actually, here, one second.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
For SmackDown, it's like, what's your thoughts on the whole Bayley versus Damage Control thing?
It's definitely the right move for Bayley, like the underdog fighting back and feeling sorry for her. It works. It works. I'm not invested in it, but I do like the dynamics of everything going on between her and Damage Control. You want her to win, They set it up where you're like, okay, all right. I normally don't like Bayley, but this time around, I want to see her catch a W. She deserves it, and she's done a great job at being like the only thing interesting about that entire drama too. So, I mean, like in general, it's great to see Bayley be a face again because she is like female John Cena. In my eyes, so like the kids love her, absolutely adore her. You gotta you got to give this girl the highest position possible, and so you got to drop the title on her. I think she would do good. It would be good for the ratings. It would be good for all that shit. Not my type of champion personally, but everybody loves her. Like everybody but me seems to really love the shit out of her.
Yeah, you don't. I know you don't care for her that much at all.
Yeah, no, but I'm not in a position to be like, nah, you guys are wrong. You don't know what's good for you. It's like, if people like her, if people want her to win, put the strap on her. No problem with it. Oh right, let's move on to it was there was. Let me get here. Hold on. I have the everything right here.
You know, what I also think right now, because like we briefly mentioned here, Tiffany Stratton is one hell of a main talent right now for coming out of NXT recently, and she's proven over and over that like she's getting way over with the crowd naturally. She's like very versatile in what she does. I'll give her credit for where credit is due. Like she knows what to do out there, and she knows how to handle things. I'm very impressed with Tiffany Stratton right now. Like I'm really hoping like just put a rocket to her back and just let her launch into the fucking stratosphere at this point, because like she's that talented in my opinion.
Awesome, hell yeah. Okay, let's not forget we got Orton and Kevin Owens defeated Austin Theory and Grayson Waller.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, Austin Theory and Grayson Waller have just become the punching bags of the roster. Like if you want to easily get your talent over, throw out Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, and anybody will root for you over them. That's how that works. But yeah, it was a pop-up RKO, which was really cool. It was like that combination is always sick to see. And then after that, I believe KSI got laid out with an RKO from Randy Orton, if I remember correctly. And Logan Paul was just, I don't know. It was the most stalled RKO. You know, I'm not a fan of them stalling the move, because you're like, just run away. But instead, like, oh no, they turn around and stunner or rock bottom or RKO. But it was great to see KSI get his ass kicked. I mean, who doesn't like seeing KSI get his ass kicked? And then Randy Orton is the man they chose to promote Prime. So I didn't care for that segment. And then he pours the Prime on KSI's crotch. The fans popped for it. They loved it. Dallas, Texas was pretty a live crowd on this show. And if you still lived in Texas, that you could have attended this one, right?
Oh, it would have been great. It would have been great.
Hell the fuck yeah.
Because I wanted to talk about it. So, like, what was your thoughts on the last segment? Let's just get to it right here.
Yes, that's the most important thing. What we really wanted to dedicate our time to, because these Rock segments are long on SmackDown. If you notice, like
very long.
You can tell that The Rock tells them, "Give me like the longest segments," and I don't blame them, because like just The Rock's presence alone, there's like an aura to him, right? It's like you're looking at a demigod standing in the center of the ring. And he's just
especially with that entrance, that new entrance of his, makes him look like more of a demigod than ever. He really wanted to, like, I'm a fucking superstar, like, and I'm a superhero in the fucking movie theaters, even though my movie flopped. Made me a fucking superhero now.
That movie sucked.
If I can't be a superhero in the theater, I'm gonna be a fucking superhero here.
Why not? I mean, honestly, if we could get entrances that badass on a daily basis, I would. Like, how can I put it? That's how you do a good entrance without pyro, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it looked amazing. Like, the special effect. Holy shit, bro. Like, live, it probably didn't look the same. But on TV, thanks to, like, live editing, they made it look like, holy shit, this is the final boss. He had that final boss entrance. Mofo came out looking like a Tekken character. Like, holy shit. Like, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. And it kills me, though, because he's clearly out, like, shining Roman Reigns, right? Like, Reigns' entrance is usually, like, the dragged out one with all the special shit thrown at it.
Yep, and the pyro.
Yeah, I know. They're giving The Rock everything. And I'm all here for it, really. I want him to, like, kind of show Roman, because Roman has evolved and become his own wrestler, but I like The Rock coming out and just also kind of showing Roman what he can do and what he shouldn't do. It's a thing of beauty, family, as The Rock said, which was his reason for accepting Roman as his tribal chief. Now, in storyline and the context of things, I didn't like this. Because like The Rock has never really shown to be someone who submits to another person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, they're gonna have to explain that in story. What do you think of his whole? Because we're family, and that's what family does. Like, were you satisfied with that answer? Because I wasn't.
I was, because it's more in tune to what a heel would do. It's out of character for what we're used to seeing from The Rock in terms of a face all the time. So to see that out of character, it makes sense for him since he's a heel to act that sort of way. And especially like right now, like him mentioning stuff like the TKO and the board and all that stuff like that. I really do think he's kind of sort of became like the Vince McMahon character now. Now that it's like the corrupt boss kind of deal that will like tip the scales in his favor for what he wants to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's the whole bloodline rules thing. It wouldn't surprise me the whole bloodline rules thing happens on night 2.
Well, I mean, you kind of need it to make that match more interesting, don't you? Right?
Yeah.
Like the stakes, it only increases the stakes more if Cody has to deal with the bloodline's interference, but that also in turn means Cody Rhodes can have someone help him, which I think we are going to see. Call me crazy, but I think Goldust might come out there.
We'll see.
I think Goldust might come out there, and really, like, if you're gonna play into this story, you have to bring out Cody Rhodes' family, right? It's like wrestling has more than one, what's his thing? What's it says at the entrance?
More than one royal family.
Yeah, the thing that plays at the gay phrase at the beginning of his entrance. Wrestling has more than one. No, they don't! It's Roman Reigns! It's the bloodline! Fuck you! I don't give a fuck about the Rhodes. Anyway. So the whole segment was, honestly, it was such a dragged out segment, and that was my biggest problem with it, because they spent way less time talking during all of this.
Way less time for a simple yes or no answer. Way less time.
And Seth Rollins, oh God, I visibly cringed. I don't know if you liked it, but Seth Rollins got a diarrhea Dwayne chant going.
The diarrhea train chant is not working for me either. I agree with that. But I do think that like his comments of midlife crisis and saying that the whole thing like you had your time, you can't shark hammers. Because I know that Rollins does not like part-time wrestlers, period. So to me, it's more in tune with his character to act that way. It really does signify the reasons why he fucking hates part-time wrestlers, because it feels like it's a slight against the full-time wrestlers that are there on a weekly basis while this asshole comes in here just so he can sell more tickets for the big event. It pretty much does a downplay, and that's why he's saying like, oh, the future of the company is at stake here, stuff like that. Because he looks at it as more than that. Is it like we're going against a bunch of part-timers? As much as Roman is, considered on the main roster as an active rosterman, he's only there usually like once every quarter to do a match, and then he gets out of there. So he's pretty much a glorified part-time. He's basically Brock Lesnar back then. So. He's charismatic, and when he shows up, he delivers. But still, at the end of the day, he's a part-time wrestler, and it's basically the full-timers against the part-timers now.
It really is, because Roman and The Rock do not appear on television anywhere near as much as Seth. I'll give Seth that. I can see Seth's perspective, and it's the position a lot of people had when CM Punk had a problem with Dwayne being in the main event like years ago. It's basically that same sentiment, which is hilarious. Because, it's like when Punk says it, people like it. When Seth says it, people are like, shut up, Seth.
Right.
Well, it's like, and then Roman Reigns made the comment about cross-dressing, and that annoyed some people on Twitter. I love it.
Who gives a fuck? Twitter ain't a real place. And on top of that, too, it's like, the only thing I have a slight against Roman Reigns is that, like, it's pretty much the same jokes from him over and over against Seth. He's done this numerous times with like, oh, your wife, you steal clothes from your wife's closet or some shit like that, stuff like that. It's like he's done slicing it over and over. Like, okay, dude, you have anything else to insult him about outside of him being the B champ and being the cross dresser, quote unquote,
Mhm.
wrestler. You know, it's like, do you have anything else to add to anything else? Any substance? Like you were basically his best friend in the early on in the years. You have nothing you can use against him as a rift or not? Like, I don't know. I wish there was more creative on Roman's part. Same
Mhm.
with even The Rock. It feels like he's repeating a lot of jokes too. And Cody looks weak as fuck as usual, outside of the big slap that was heard around
Yeah.
the world on Friday. Um,
Mhm.
but it was like I said, it was good for what it had some good bits, but it also had some weak bits. I'm hoping they can just keep picking it up, and next week we can deliver on it. So
Yeah.
anyway, we gotta wrap this up here.
All right. Yeah, I know. We were gonna make it a
Fortunately,
short.
it's
We're
gonna be a
making a.
short one.
Yeah, we're making a short one. We want to thank everybody for subscribing and watching. Delta's got to take off, but we wanted to give you guys a week in wrestling. WrestleMania is approaching. Subscribe if you want to see us have some horrendous, awful takes on wrestling. Thank you for tuning in. Delta, say bye bye to everyone, and we are out.
See y'all next week, everyone. Have a good night.